Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Go. If you like the new layout going on, let me know in the comment section below. But today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different, something we haven't talked about in a while on the channel, and that is Silph Arena. So, as doing Go Battle League a lot, including getting to rank 8 finally. Woot woot. We finally got to rank 8. But yeah, it's been interesting. Unfortunately, the streaming for some reason hasn't been working recently, so sorry. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Silph Arena though today. So, ooh, I like the new layout thing. Yes. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the Sorcerous Cup. We're going to be talking about also how to Silph Arena. So, first of all, if you don't know what the Silph Arena is. So the Silph Arena is basically this website over here. We're going to go, oh, we're actually already on it. I'm actually in a mega tournament right now with over 40 people participating in this tournament right now. Here I am a challenger rank, which is like I'd say the bulk of people right now are probably in challenger. So you start off as a trainer, you promote to a rival after a certain amount of wins and like good performances in tournaments, and after that you go to a challenger and then an ace, and then after ace is actually the next level, which is elite. So you can rank up, and like the better you do in your tournaments, the better you actually get. So that's really cool. It is a partner, kind of like an offshoot of the Silph Road, which has been with Pokemon Go since the beginning, as like a data information network. This is now, when PvP became a thing, was where all the battles came about. And after a little bit, they started doing these tournaments. And so in every tournament, we actually go here. I'm actually an admin, so I have an extra little slot. So, let's see. So there's PvP resources actually for Go Battle League also. So even if you're not a part of the Silph Arena, they still give you stuff about Go Battle League, which is very interesting. But if we go to tournaments, okay, here is how you Silph Arena. So first of all, you gotta have, like, honestly the easiest thing to do is make yourself a Discord. Okay, so that's first of all. First off, get a Discord. That makes everything easier. And right now, with how everything is going in Pokemon Go and the world right now, Silph Arena is never been easier to take a part in, because you only need to be good friends, which means all you gotta do is send a gift to be able to battle each other. So what you can do is go to a local tournament map. So this brings up where you are, give the Silph Arena like the option to see where you are in the world, and it shows the local tournaments. So right now it's the Silph Sorcerous Cup right now, so that's what these little books are, and that tells you when and where the tournaments are. So that's very cool. You can even find more Pokemon players in your local area by doing this, because this is like, before everything was like together and you'd actually show up at these tournaments and like compete in person, but now with social distancing and everything, you can now do these remotely, which is really cool. So you can do this, and this is how you find a tournament. But how do you know what is going on in the tournament? Well, in the 2019-2020 season, right here, you can see Sorcerous Cup resources, and it highlights that it's the current cup. So we're going to head on over to this, and I actually have the same little infographic down here, but instead I'm going to switch it back over, and let's just talk about it since we have it on here on the big screen. Or there. I don't know yet which way it actually is. This is my first time using, because it's a new layout and I'm super proud of it. Anyway, we have the Sorcerous Cup, so it shows everything, like what you need to know essentially. It also says everything about the rules, battle remotely, cost. There is no cost, it's free, all are welcome, all ages are welcome, and it gives you the rules and it gives you the bans. So it's going to be ice types, poison types, fairy types, psychic types, and normal types, and this changes every month. So like last cup, it was the Voyager Cup, and it was one Pokemon from Kento, one Pokemon from Johto, one Pokemon from Hoenn, one Pokemon from Sinnoh, and I believe 2 free picks, as long as, no wait, and maybe, no, one Pokemon from Unova, Alola, or Galar, and then 1 free pick from any of the other ones, as long as they weren't a part of like a separate list of Pokemon, which they provided that list of Pokemon, just like they provide what's not allowed in this one. So what's not allowed? No Shadow Pokemon, none of those. No Pokemon with second moves over 50,000 Stardust, which is really nice. It means you save a little bit of dust. No Dugongs, no Alolan Raichus, no Obstagoons, and no Galarian Linoons. Why not Galarian Linoon? Well, on Pokebattler, you can see there that the #1 ranking, if it were allowed, the #1 ranked Pokemon for Sorcerous Cup would have been Obstagoon, and the number 13 Pokemon would have been Galarian Linoon. Which is crazy. 2 brand new Pokemon, both being in the top 30 Pokemon. And like this particular graphic from Pokebattler is from like basically all, like any random assortment of shields, energy gain, etc. Like just like randomized for any random situation, that Obstagoon and Galarian Linoon are in the top 15. Obstagoon being the #1 Pokemon. Oof, that's nuts. But anyway, yeah, that's why we got the whole Shadows, Obstagoon, Linoon, no Dugong, no Alolan Raichu, because they probably also would have been like dumb broken. So yeah, the Sorcerous Cup is basically like how all the rest of these cups kind of try and make it so that there's not a broken Pokemon, but there is still a bit of a top tier, mid tier, etc. And if we actually go over to resources over here, they give you nice little things. They give you like Nifty or Thrifty. So these are like the Pokemon that cost less but still give you a bang for your buck. It gives you a meta simplified guide, which is really cool, and it shows you kind of like, can I zoom in? No, I can't? Okay. But it shows you like basically, you know, what beats what in according to like how, and it gives you some side picks, etc. So that's really kind of cool. And this is how you can really build your team. So you can pick like one from each of the major groups, and then like maybe like one of the little side traits. So that's also kind of how I built my team. It's kind of like, okay, let me make sure I have like some of these major ones, and then I can kind of pick up what I need according to the rest of my team, which is really, really cool. So yeah, the Silph Arena tries to be all-inclusive as much as possible. From, you know, giving you certain types so that you can kind of like have fun and build Pokemon that maybe you wouldn't necessarily build. It also gives you a way to actually see which of these Pokemon you might already have. So you can copy this to your clipboard, and then paste it into Pokemon Go, which I have already put to my clipboard and locked on my clipboard so that I don't accidentally get rid of it. And we're gonna take a look at this. So right here, this is just like from doing lots of different cups. I have lots of Pokemon that are prepared for these things. So we see here, you know, some that you might have expected. You know, as soon as you saw fairy types, you kind of thought, okay, you might see the little blue mouse. We do. We see the blue mouse. We see Azumarill, which is actually the ranked #2 Pokemon. We see Celio, which is a nice pickup. Zigzagoon, very nice with that Shadow Claw, and with being a normal type, being immune to ghost types, which there's a couple of them floating around from Frostlass, which is actually the #1 Pokemon. Glalie, which is like, I believe, the #8 Pokemon. Haunter, which is always a great pickup, because they're half, you know, they're ice, but they're ghost. Actually, I don't think Glalie is a ghost. It's just a pure ice type, but it has Shadow Ball, so there's that. Haunter, which is part poison, so that means it's allowed in the cup. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, if you keep going through, you can see a few Pokemon that maybe you have seen in Go Battle League before. Alolan Sandslash, Venomoth has made its appearance every once in a while. Beedrill, Victory Bell you've seen before, Hypno you've seen before. So there's some Pokemon Granbull, Clefable, Alolan Muck. We've seen some of these Pokemon in Go Battle League. So you might already have these Pokemon already double moved, already powered up, optimized and ready to go. And look, you just scroll through like what you have, and then you start team building. And instead of just 3 Pokemon, you get a team of 6. And you use those 3 after seeing what your opponent has. Your opponent shows what their team of 6 is, you see what your team of 6 is, and you pick your line of 3 based off of what each other has. So, with that being said, how do I know what these ranks are? Well, we have various websites that show overall, how to PvP basically. So we have PvPoke and Poke Battler are 2 of the ones that I personally use. And we've seen Poke Battler already, but here is underneath me PvPoke. And what you're looking at is the overall best Pokemon. So you can kind of even basically just pick your team of 6 right from here. You can go Frostlass, Azumarill, Alolan Muck, Hypno, Bronzong, Noctowl. Just take the top 6 Pokemon. Boom. And you're done. But you could also do this. You can look at the leads. So if we look at these leads here, we see Frostlass here is a great lead. So you can put like 2 leads, and then you can also find out what's the safest switch in. Well, they even provide you the switches. So we have Golbat, Muck, Frostlass, Noctowl, Munchlax, Lanoon, Lickilicky, Skuntank, Lickitung, Muck. So as you can see, a lot of those normal type Pokemon are going to be a really good switch in, because they're 1, bulky, and 2, they are completely immune to ghost types, while also having pretty good coverage moves. So, yeah, really nice. Especially because, like, yeah, there might be, some fighting types, floating around, but, like, it's kind of like a lock-in situation. You don't want to necessarily switch into a fighting type if your opponent can still switch, because they can just bring in their Hypno and just destroy you. So these are the safe switches. Golbat, Alolan Muck. These Pokemon have some immunities, a lot of resistances. Frostlass, just one of the fastest Shadow Balls in the cup. Avalanche deals neutral damage across the board and super effective against certain Pokemon that, like the Flyers, Noctowl and Golbat. Munchlax, Linoon, Lickilicky, Lickitung all have Ghost type fast moves that charge up very quickly with great coverage charge moves. And then Skuntank, Alolan Muck, being Poison Dark, completely immune to the Psychic type, while also still doing good damage with Dark type moves, having Poison type moves for the Fairies. It's really nice, and they both kind of hit like trucks when their charge moves do come off. So yeah. So when we go ahead and look at my team for the Sorcerous Cup, it's kind of an interesting kind of a team. I have the #1 overall Pokemon in Frostlass. I have a fairly good fighting type Pokemon. I have multiple immunities, resistances across the board. I also kind of try and spice up my team whenever possible. So I am someone who loves to use spicy teams, spicy picks. I'll do anything for the spice, okay? But I also happen to have 2 of the top 5 switch-ins in Frostlass and Noctowl, okay? I have actually the #2 safe switch, Alolan Muck. I have, for my team, I was like, okay, I'm a little weak to certain Pokemon. I kind of might need a ground type Pokemon. So I went with Claydol to deal massive ground type damage, plus also getting that Psychic type resistance to fighting, plus Psychic is strong against poison. I have this guy, which I have picked from the very beginning of Go Battle League. I was like, this guy might be kind of cool. Being completely immune to Psychic and also to Ghost, while dealing super effective damage to a lot of the cup, plus also getting fairly good, even with like Bite not charging up very well, Bite just nothing that it is super effective against wants to deal with a Bite at all, because Bite just spams, plus the fact that I'm running Hyper Fang and Crunch, both charge up kinda quickly, even with Bite. So, big damage. Love this guy, but I do have to make sure that he is not matched up against a fighting type Pokemon, which is why I would probably lead Alolan Raticate and then have a safe switch such as Alolan Mug, Frostlass, or Noctowl. So making sure that you have Pokemon that can lead, but also Pokemon that can switch. Making sure you have both of those things, plus also making sure that you cover your Pokemon around the board. So that's basically kind of what we already kind of are used to in Go Battle League, but even further with the fact that you have 6 Pokemon, you get to see what the other person is using. It's not a blind like, okay, oh gosh, I have no clue what this person can bring. You have these types, you get to know, you get to strategize. So it's super cool, a lot of fun, and I suggest that everyone does at least a little bit of Silph Arena, and I think this cup is the cup to kind of get your feet wet in, because there is the ban to Pokemon over 75,000 Stardust, which means you get to save some resources, plus there's a lot of Pokemon that are actually good in Go Battle League as well, from Toxicroak to Frostlass, Noctowl, Azumarill, Haunter. There's a lot of Pokemon in here that are also good for Go Battle League, so I suggest you go ahead and take a nice little peek at the Silph Arena website. Again, links to PvPoke, Poke Battler, and Silph Arena all in the description below. And if you did like this episode, go ahead, smash that thumbs up button. If you enjoyed the series, please subscribe, and as always, God bless, and see you for another episode of Pokemon Go.